Good morning, students. Today we are going to study your first chapter from your social science book, that is Medieval Gujarat. A man roamed about a village street playing a song on his Ravana Hatha board violin. A group of small children was also roaming along with him. He continued to sing the same song repeatedly, the words of which were Chelaji re Patan thi Patola Mongha Lavjo. So, a man was roaming about in a village street playing a violin and he was singing a song, continuously singing a song. The words of the song were Chelaji re Patan thi Patola Monga Lavjo. Among the children who sang along with the singer was Pratik. One of them was Pratik. When he returned home, he asked his grandfather about the Patola of Patan. Pratik's grandfather had a wealth of historical anecdotes. While telling Pratik about Patola, he informed him about the historical city Ahinwad, Patan. So Pratik asked his grandfather, and his grandfather was knowing he was having a very good knowledge of history. Anecdotes means a short interesting story about a real incident or person. So his grandfather told him about, gave him all the information about the historical city Anhilwad, Patan. In the medieval age, that is from 746 CE to 1304 CE, approximately for about 560 years ago, the Chavda, the Solanki, and the Waghela dynasty ruled over Gujarat. During their reign, the capital of their kingdom was Ahilpur Patan, which later came to be known as Anhilwad Patan. Currently, Anandwada village that is situated to the west of Patan was originally known as Anilwad. So during that time, the Chavda, the Solanki and the Waghela dynasties ruled over Gujarat and their capital was Ahilpur Patan and later it became Anilwad Patan. Next page we have page number 2. According to the historical texts, the Chavda dynasty ruled over Panchasar. So the Chavda dynasty ruled over Panchasar. Its ruler Jai Shikari attended martyrdom in a war. His son Vanraj Chavda recaptured his father's kingdom. So his son Vanraj Chavda he recaptured means he take over the father's kingdom. In place of the ruined kingdom, he established a new kingdom on the banks of the river Saraswati, which was known as Anhilwad Patan. And so this on the bank of the river Saraswati, it was known as Anhilwad Patan. It is believed that his friend Anhil assisted him in acquiring the kingdom and hence the territory was named as Anhilwad Patan after him. So his friend's name was Anhil and he helped him in acquiring the kingdom and hence the territory was named as Anhilwad Patan. The Chavda dynasty ruled over Gujarat for approximately 196 years. So, the Chavda dynasty, the rulers of the Chavda dynasty ruled over Gujarat for nearly 196 years. Thereafter, the Solanki dynasty ruled over Gujarat. After Chavda dynasty, the Solanki dynasty ruled over Gujarat. During the rule of the Solanki dynasty, Gujarat became very prosperous. So Gujarat became very prosperous in each and every field. The Rajput era saw Anhilwad Patan emerge as one of the most powerful kingdoms. The king of these dynasties were Mulkraj Solanki, Bhimdev Solanki, Siddharth Jaisingh, Kumarpal were among the great rulers. So there were many rulers during that time who had they were the kings of these dynasty. The famous scholar, the name of the scholar was Hemchandra Acharya, was patronized during the rule of Siddharth Jaisingh. During his reign, Anhilwad Patan became the main center of education and was known as Vidyadham. So during his time, during the time of Hemchandra Acharya ji, so that Anhilwad Patan was known as Vidyadham. On his proposal, Sri Hemchandra Acharya wrote a book on grammar. He wrote a book, very important book on grammar, that was Siddhem Shabd Anushasan. After its completion, the book was placed on the seat tied onto an elephant and the procession was carried throughout the city. So the book was placed on the elephant and the procession was carried throughout the city. Procession means like a rally. Okay, whole the book was kept on the elephant and all the kings and all they were going as a rally. Both the king Siddharth Jaisingh and the composer Sri Hemchandra Acharya accompanied the procession on foot. It was the first time that a literary text was given such enormous respect. The prosperity of Gujarat reached its apex during the reign of Kumarapal. At this time, the amalgamation of non-violence, that is ahimsa, prosperity, Lakshmi, and education, that is Saraswati, was noticed in Anhilwad, Patan. The kings of the Solanki dynasty were great rulers. However, 6 of these rulers renounced their thrones to become hermits. So 6 of them, the rulers, they became the hermit means uh, uh, they uh, they go away to the forest for some kind of search or prayer and all. More information on this can be obtained from the library. You can see the picture here in your textbook, page number 2. A picture of the book is given, the grammar book which was written by Hemchandra Acharya. Anhilwad Patan had not only dynamic kings and academicians, but the queens were also equally dynamic. So, not only the king were dynamic, but the queens were also equally dynamic. In fact, Queen Udaymati built a step well for the welfare of her subjects. The step well is known as Rani Ki Vav. This step well, consisting of 7 levels, in an unparalleled example of art and architecture. The beautifully carved stone idols tells us of the glory and prosperity of the Solanki era. So, the queen, which was who was the Queen Udaymati, she built a step well which was very important, Rani Ki Vav, and the step well consisting of 7 levels is an unparalleled example. It is very important example of art and architecture of that time. The beautifully carved stone idols tells us of the glory and prosperity of the Solanki era. That means during that time many sculptures and carved stones and all idols were made during the Solanki era. Queen Minal Devi, King Siddharth Jaisingh's mother. Queen Minal Devi was the King Siddharth Jaisingh's mother, was much concerned about the welfare of the subjects and waived the pilgrim tax. Okay, the The Malav Lake at Dholka and the Munsar Lake at Viramgam were constructed on her instructions. So these two lakes were constructed on the instructions of the queen. The Shahasraling Lake of Patan was constructed during the reign of King Sidraj Jai Singh. The history of Ahilwad Patan is associated with the name of a brave heroic lady. After the death of King Ajaypal, his son being too young, Queen Naiki Devi, his mother, took over the responsibility of the kingdom. So the Queen Naiki Devi took over the responsibility of the kingdom because her son was too young. During this time, Shahabuddin Gauri crossed the desert and attacked Gujarat. And during that time, Shahabuddin Gauri attacked over Gujarat. Queen Naiki Devi exhibited enormous courage and tied her infant son to herself, led the army of Gujarat into the battle and successfully defeated Shahabuddin Gauri. And as her son was too young, she fought herself only and successfully defeated Shahabuddin Gauri. After the Solanki dynasty, the Waghela dynasty ruled over Gujarat. So after Solanki dynasty, the Waghela dynasty came into Gujarat. The last emperor of the Waghela dynasty, Karan Dev Waghela, was defeated by Alauddin Khilji, and it brought to the end of Rajput rule over Ahilwad Patan. So Rajput rule was over. Later on, for a period of time, Ahilwad Patan remained the capital of Gujarat just for a namesake. During the Sultanate era, Ahmad Shah established Ahmedabad in 1411 CE. 1411 CE. So, during that time, Sultanate era, Ahmad Shah established in Ahmedabad. Thereafter, Patan ceased being the capital of Gujarat and became the headquarters of Subagiri district. The sultans ruled over Gujarat through the 15th and till the end of the 16th. So the sultans ruled over Gujarat till the end of the 16th century. During this era, notable sultans like Ahmad Shah, Mahmud Begda, and Muzaffar Shah ruled over Gujarat. So during this time, these sultans ruled over Gujarat. At the beginning of the 17th century, the Mughal dynasty established itself over Gujarat, and thereafter many other kingdoms came into existence in Gujarat, and after that many other kingdoms came into existence in Gujarat, okay, as they ruled over Gujarat. Now next topic is administration. During the Solanki era, the king was the most powerful of all. The various departments of the kingdom were handled by different ministers. The most important minister was known as Mahamatya, who looked after the finance department. So they looked after the finance department. Okay. The most important department of the administration was known as Mandal, and the most important, that was the department which was known as Mandal. The capital of this kingdom was located on the banks of the river Saraswati, and hence it was known as Saraswati Mandal. As it was located on the bank of the river Saraswati, the name was given Saraswati Mandal. The subsection of the Mandal was known as Pathak, and its subsection was known as Pathak. There were several such Pathaks which included many villages within their folds. Mandals such as Kutch Mandal, Saurashtra Mandal, Khetak Mandal, which was known as Kheda Mandal, Lat Mandal, Medpat Mandal were present during this time. So these were the names of the mandal. Our next topic is architecture and culture. Many people followed Shaivism in Gujarat during the Solanki era. At this time, Somnath was the prime center of Shaivism, while Dwarka was the famous pilgrim center for the Vaishnavas. Shaivism means Lord Shiva, temple of Lord Shiva. So Somnath had a temple of Lord Shiva, and Dwarka it was a pilgrimage center for Vaishnavas. The influence of Buddhism reduced during the medieval age while Jainism gathered momentum. As a result, many magnificent Jain temples were built. So, there were many Jain temples also built during that time. This period also saw the progress of architecture, sculpture, and paintings. So, architecture, sculptures, and paintings were also famous during that time. The architecture of this time exhibited the Rajasthani style of temple carving. The Sun Temple of Modera, the Vimla Vashi Temple of Abu were constructed in the 11th century, while the Rudra Mahalaya Temple, the reconstructed Somnath Temple were built in the 12th century. So, Rudra Mahalaya Temple was built in the 12th century. The 13th century saw the construction of the Dilwara temples of Mount Abu, which attained a prominent place in the architectural splendor of India. So, Dilwara temples of Mount Abu were also very famous, were also architectural splendor of India during that time. Along with the temple architecture of Gujarat, other architectural works such as lakes, forts, gateways, arcs of temples, that is torans, were also included. Among all the Kirti torans, the Kirti toran of Vadnagar is very famous. So, there were many Kirti torans and all made during that time, and the Kirti Toran of Vadnagar was very famous during that time. Manuscripts were usually written on palm leaves, that is Tadpatra. Margins were drawn along the four sides of these 2-3 feet long and 2-3 inch wide leaves, and within that limited space, writings or drawings were executed. Now, there were many writings and all done on the palm leaves. Besides this, a lot of literary work on Jainism was accomplished during the Solanki era, like the Dvayashray Granth. So, this Granth was also accomplished during the Solanki era. Ahmedabad became the center of administration during the Sultanate regime. Many books were written in Persian. So, during that time, many books were also written, and it was written in Persian language also. Also, many works in Gujarati have been written during this period. Many famous mosques were built during the Sultanate as well as the Mughal era. So, many famous mosques and all were also built during these era. The famed Siddhi Sayyad Grill of Ahmedabad and the Sarkhej Roja Mosque were constructed during that time. So, Siddhi Sayyad Grill of Ahmedabad and Sarkhej Roja Mosque were also constructed at that time. Thus, during the medieval age, For almost 560 years, Gujarat was ruled over by the Rajput dynasty and later by the Sultanate era and the Mughal era. So, Gujarat was ruled over by Rajput dynasties and the Sultanate era and then the Mughal era. This is evident from the architectural splendor and the literary works of that period. So we can get the evidence from architectural splendors and the literary works of that period. So children, we have completed our first chapter. Now I will send you the pics. You have to write this chapter first in your workbook. Pics will be sent to you and some homework will be also given that you have to complete in your workbook. Okay, thank you.